3 people in the chat and me. See,
Andor
I'm here
season 2
on Netflix, on YouTube, so I can talk to people.
Yeah, well, nobody said anything in the chat.
Yeah.
Like, is my chat just not updating?
Nicole said, "Hello there, Nicholas."
Well, that was like 20 minutes ago.
Oh, okay. That's true.
I mean, it shows we have 4 people in chats. Maybe there's still some people there, but let's. I'm late. Marisha was working when this came out. I didn't watch it when it first came out, but let's talk Andor season 2. Now we're only talking the first 3 episodes. If I understand correctly, it's in 4,
3
episode arcs with some time jumps in between.
Okay.
So this will be
right.
So this will be the first,
because this is the basically like 1 year before,
leading right up to, like, the last 3 should lead right into Rogue One.
Right. But the next 3 episodes are going to be set a year later.
Oh, are we doing 1 year jumps?
Okay. I mean, I don't know. They may not all be 1 year jumps, but this one is going to be a 1 year jump because we're going to jump a year after the wedding, basically.
Okay. So we're going to talk the first 3 episodes, and we'll do the other 3 over the next week or 2.
So what? I mean, I watched this kind of in little bits when it first came out, because I was working weird schedule. But what did you think about it?
So I have one major gripe.
Okay.
And I don't even have a problem with the scene per se, because I don't think the scene, when I heard that there was the sexual assault scene, that I was like, oh great. Like, I was worried that it was going to be more graphic.
Yeah. Well, you had kind of asked me about it, and I was like,
the scene itself is really not that bad. Now, the deal that's been made with and I don't know, maybe my channel will go under the radar here if I say the word, but the actress coming out and bragging about, getting to being the first person to get to say rape in a Star Wars. And I was like, good for you, I guess. Look, here's the thing. This is what this scene does to this show for me. This scene makes, and this is a challenge for Star Wars shows. Anytime we leave behind the Force, right? So we kind of move from telling a very fantasy realm story to almost becoming too sci-fi sometimes, because it is, Star Wars should not be sci-fi.
Right.
I mean, we can do sci-fi elements. We can do sci-fi storytelling techniques, but it's ultimately not sci-fi. And I'm going to base that on going back to the George Lucas quote of George Lucas saying, look, I don't worry about the science when I write this stuff. We'll figure that out later. And my thing is, I only need it to be consistent within its world.
Right.
That's not a big ask. And they do that generally most of the time. There's another gripe I'm going to get to in a second on that, though, where they don't. But when you do scenes like this in a Star Wars, and look, I'm not hating on it, because I think this is an incredibly well-made show. It's a different kind of Star Wars. This is different than my normal Star Wars, and I just have to draw that distinction and say, look, it exists in the Star Wars world. It's a little different than my other stuff. But when you do stuff like a sexual assault scene, congratulations, you're no longer special. You're taking away what makes Star Wars special and different than every other dark sci-fi series out there right now, and saying, look, we're just like all the other shows. You're throwing away what makes Star Wars special. And that's not to say it's bad, because I think the first 3 episodes, I think it's a tremendous show. I didn't like the first half of season 1. I've been real open about that. It's boring. I do want to go back and watch it. Maybe knowing where it's going, I won't have such a negative reaction to it. I just have this distinct memory of staying up, because this is when they were still dropping the episodes at 1 in the morning or something. Yeah. And I remember staying up to watch an episode and being so mad that I stayed up to watch it.
Yeah.
Because I was tired, but I was like, I'm going to watch it and I'm going to react to it. And I basically walked in here and turned the computer on and went, I'm so pissed off. Because it was boring. Yeah. Now, these 3 episodes, I don't think they're boring. I think that there's a lot of good story in there. The acting is top notch. I don't think there's anything to really hate about it. I just feel like it saddens me a little that they would take what does make Star Wars special and different and just throw it out.
Yeah. But it wasn't graphic. It wasn't
It was no, as far as the story itself, I don't think they did anything. They didn't do anything in here where I'm like, well, can't let the kids watch that.
right.
Um, because call me whatever you want. I'm still careful about what my kids watch.
Yeah, for sure. Um but yeah, I thought that this arc I thought that they did a really nice balancing act with these things that are all going on right at the same
Yeah.
time. So you have your
I didn't feel like we lingered anywhere too long. I think we tell the story and we move the
Mhm.
pieces along. Nothing drags. That
No.
was kind of the crime of the first half of the first season. There were moments where it was like, why are we still here? Like,
Mhm.
let's finish this scene up.
The only time that I kind of started to feel that way was whenever he's sitting on that planet with those
Yeah, but we
squabbling
weren't
kids.
but we
It's
weren't
just
there a
like,
lot with him. But it was like, how many times do we have to come back here
right.
before he escapes? But we didn't spend just copious amounts of time there, but
Yeah.
maybe too much.
Yeah. But other than that, I felt like it balanced really well. I thought that we got a really interesting, and I feel like, a lot of people were really kind of unhappy with kind of how they presented Mon Mothma
Well,
in this season.
so far, I don't think they've done anything. I didn't love the way they presented Mon Mothma in season one.
Hmm.
I thought that character, and maybe we just need to see her become the character we know.
Hmm.
I didn't like the character in season one. I felt like this is not a person that's going to lead a rebellion.
Yeah.
This person doesn't have it in them.
Yeah. And I think she is going to have to come into a little more courage. Um, but
And
also,
conviction just to do the thing in the when it needs to be done.
yeah. But also, like, I think that the conflict you see between her trying to make the most ethical decision for the rebellion and still trying to be a good parent.
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
the reality is that can be a really big conflict for people who are in um delicate situation, people who are trying to infiltrate corrupt regimes, like if they have people that they love, then
yeah. Well,
those people are
I
vulnerable.
get the impression that and I don't know that they explicitly said it, but it feels like she's watching her daughter doing, doing the traditional thing here, which must have been, hey, Alexa, cancel. I don't need the weather report right now.
Nope.
I feel like did we get an indication that this is how her and Perrin were
Yes.
paired up? Okay, I
Yeah,
couldn't
yeah, we've
remember.
kind of
So
gotten
she's and there's clearly this is not a loving relationship, and so
Mhm.
we're sort of getting her fears for her child,
Mhm.
and I think she's so caught up in that right now that she can't be much else,
Yeah.
and that's understandable.
Mhm.
Like I understand this is one of the things like lately with some of these shows that I've really hated, I've gone, I don't understand the character motivation. What is this character's motivation? In this show, I understand the character's motivation.
Mhm.
I don't think there's any character where I'm looking at them and going, I don't understand what they're about.
Mhm.
I understand what the characters are dealing with and what it is they're trying to accomplish.
Mhm.
And I understand she needs to be. I guess the answer, I think the story we're telling is that this rebellion needs a Luthen and that this rebellion needs a Mon Mothma.
Yes, they need someone to be the spotless, squeaky clean paragon.
Yeah.
And that's her job, is to be the paragon of virtue. And everything she does is to contribute to that image.
Yeah.
Um, and that's politics.
All right. Now, my other gripe, I'll get the, and look, I kind of consider this a nitpick to some extent. But when did we start? Well, I know when, and I'm going to point the finger at it in a second. But why did we start pretending that it's like every ship in Star Wars is now like some sort of flying tank, except when it needs to blow up. Like we crash these things off buildings and into the ground and skid them across the ground coming out of orbit and all kinds of stuff, and they don't blow up.
Mm-hmm.
Like TIE fighters were notoriously fragile. And Cassian flies that thing into cliff faces and then still goes into space. And it's like, yeah, I don't think that thing's going to be space worthy at this point. But they started doing this in the sequels. They did it with the Falcon, where we were just like careening it off stuff. We crashed it into the ground and watched it bounce and hit the ground. It's like, come on, like,
Yeah.
Let's pretend like this stuff has some weight and bearing in reality. Like,
I mean, seeing as how there was a microscopic flaw in a oh shoot, the Challenger. Like the Challenger explosion was like a little tiny crack in some styrofoam somewhere.
Right. Well, see,
and
my
like
whole
it hits
thing
the
is
atmosphere and it's
right. And my whole thing is like, I don't hold Star Wars to science standards. I
Right.
only hold it to the standards which it has set for itself.
Right.
And I feel like this now that we can just careen ships off, like I can fly this ship into a cliff face and it doesn't do any damage. But then we hit it with a laser and blows up. Like, let's,
Yeah. That's fair.
we've started treating these ships like they're indestructible, except when we need it to blow up.
Yeah.
I don't like that. We didn't treat them that way. We didn't treat TIE fighters. I mean, if it makes me think if J.J. Abrams made the Empire Strikes Back scene where they're flying through the
Minefield, it would have just
well,
been
not the minefield. It's not a minefield.
the
It's the asteroid field.
yeah.
That the TIE fighters would have been bouncing off of stuff instead of like clipping an asteroid and blowing into a million pieces. Like, I mean, we have the Millennium Falcon takes a couple of scrapes and it tears pieces off.
Mm-hmm.
But now we fly them into things that doesn't do any damage.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, when the Millennium Falcon's flying through the second Death Star and they rip off the dish off the top of it. Like now I feel like we'd have just like, it had just like blasted through that part of the Death Star and come out unscathed. It's like, I don't know. I just don't like it.
Yeah,
it's
fair.
I can consider it a nitpick. It's not ruining any Star Wars for me.
Yeah.
But like, it's inconsistent.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people were really indignant about the scene where she kind of gets tipsy at the wedding and just kind of like, oh, or but like your most put together straight-laced people have their moments. And I feel like that's what we're seeing is like all the things are basically building up to push her to her breaking point.
The people that have a problem with that scene, and I don't know, I haven't really followed it because I didn't want spoilers. So I don't know what kind of people that had a problem with that scene.
Mm-hmm.
But my first question would be, do you have kids?
Yeah.
And my second question would be, do you care about their future?
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, like, if something happened to one of my kids, it would like really mess me up.
Yeah.
I would do things that were probably not normal for me.
Yeah. And furthermore, Luthen basically tells her, yeah, he's gone. I'm taking care of it now. And she knows what that means. And like she's known this guy forever. Like she cares about him. And so there's a lot kind of building on her at that point.
Yeah. So overall, 3 episodes. Like, what did you think about the first 3 episodes? Because I guess you've watched these first 3 episodes twice now.
Yeah. I feel like it's an interesting I feel like it's a good story. I enjoyed them. I enjoyed it enough to watch it again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel like it's very in keeping with the what I is very much what I was expecting.
Yeah. So there were things
Sometimes
that
that's
there were a
nice.
couple things I was like, when we first see Cassian stealing the TIE fighter, and I was like, I understand he's like one of your part of your spy network, but why would you not send somebody that knows how to fly this thing? But they actually explained it. Like,
Right.
this thing's very, very new, and no one knew. There's
Yeah.
not anybody
You
out there that
know,
knows
this
how to
isn't the
fly
ship I trained to fly.
it. Right. Um, Now look, the ship, I love ships. And this is the TIE Avenger. That is from the TIE Fighter video game from like the like mid 90s.
That's funny. I did have to laugh at all the stormtroopers being like, who called that in?
Right.
Oh, that's not going to go the way you think.
No. That scene was great.
Mhm.
I love seeing Cassian come in there. I hated, this kind of story we're telling if people don't die. I feel like this is, go back to Joss Whedon, things that
Mhm.
Joss Whedon says. If there's no risk of characters, even your favorite character dying,
Mhm.
then we can't, then we can't make this feel
Mhm.
real.
I mean, and I'm pretty sure that Bex doesn't make it through this whole show.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like the only person that has to make it, as far as kind of our kind of leads, are Mon Mothma
Cassian.
and Cassian.
Because we got
Like,
to see Cassian die.
right.
Oh,
So
tear your heart out. But I feel like if Bex is still around, then, you know, I feel like um, it kind of
well, see,
that his interactions with Jen cheapen it a little bit. Not that I think it's necessarily romantic. I don't think his
but
interactions
I
with
don't
Jen are
think
romantic.
there's anything romantic between
But
Jen
but
and
I think
Cassian.
that there should be some kind of like reference to his wife, as he's dying, with
That's the
this.
thing, is I think he's lost everyone, which is why he has no
Yeah.
qualms about going on this mission.
Hmm. Yeah.
Now, granted, everybody's watching us review this has already seen the whole season, but
True.
um, so we may be totally off base here, but yeah, I'm figuring he loses
Yeah.
his whole crew.
I mean, like, I feel like we would have seen B um around if he were still around. I'm excited to get to meet
K2.
K2. Yeah.
Yeah.
K2's great.
Speaking of, I was watching one of the Superman trailers the other day,
Hmm.
and the robots in the Fortress of Solitude are talking, and it's Alan Tudyk.
That's
I was
great.
like, why does that robot sound like Alan Tudyk? And it's like, oh, it is Alan Tudyk.
That's great.
But anything else you want to add about Andor?
I don't think so.
So,
I'm
like I
enjoying it.
said, overall, fantastic show. I love what this show is doing. I feel like this, even though I don't, it's different than
Hmm.
what I fell in love with about Star Wars.
Hmm.
It is just a tremendous show, and it's
Hmm.
it's a very honest take on what it would take to create
Hmm.
a rebellion.
Yeah.
Like, it's not squeaky clean,
Yeah.
and they're willing to go there. Um,
I hate that they recast Bail Organa.
I assume that happens later in the. We hadn't
And
seen
we
that.
hadn't seen that yet. I guess it's in the next episode then. Yeah, I was like, "Where's Jimmy Schmitz?" Don't even like it was not even like anything important. It was just like he just kind of came through, and I was like, "Don't care, literally don't care. Bring us back our Bail Organa that we know and like."
It's true. They'd have had to done some de aging.
No, Bail Organa. We see him in de aging.
You know how much older he is than when he played that character?
Jimmy Schmitz just played Bail Organa in the Kenobi
Did
series.
he?
like
Oh
5
yeah, he
minutes
did.
ago.
Oh yeah. Why did they recast?
I don't know.
Maybe Jimmy Smits didn't want to come back.
But then why? They didn't need to see Bail Organa.
I mean, it'd be kind of weird to not see Bail Organa at this stage of the rebellion, though, right? I mean, he's like one of the like founders of the rebellion.
Yeah. I still like just adore the fact that the actress who was they cast as Mon Mothma 20 years ago in the prequels cut all of her scenes. They've now brought back. I mean, we saw her, she was in a lot of like deleted scenes. She was in all of the books and stuff.
Yeah.
Her image was out there, but we never saw her in this theater
Right.
as Mon Mothma, and here she comes back 20 years later.
She's
Like,
very
that's great.
good.
She's done great. Yeah.
All right. Well, so overall, I love the first 3 episodes. I did have some, some gripes, but I feel like I loved the last 5 episodes of the first season, and I feel like this hits the ground running at that same pace.
I agree.
I feel like it just took a little longer than I would have liked to have come up to speed.
Yeah.
But it seems like it's holding there well, and I think as far as characters we're adding to the lexicon here, Luthen is an awesome character, and I don't know they could have gone and found anybody better to play that part.
He's just he's good as either menacing or crazy or both.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that'll wrap us up. Unless you have any final thoughts on the first 3 episodes of Andor, but we'll be back to talk about that more. And then, of course, when we're done with it, we'll review the whole, kind of give our thoughts on the series as a whole. But I know that it's a very, very late reaction to Andor, but it's what I can do. Hey there, sci-fi fans. We hope you enjoyed this clip from a previous live stream of the Science Fictionary podcast. We hope you'll go check out other episodes. We hope you'll hit that like and that subscribe button. And please go check out all of our friends over at the Red 5 Network. And as always, may the Force be with you.